starting on. Often people ask me, in 2 days will I trade like you, and in 2 days will I become consistent? No. It's like saying that by studying physics in class 8, will I become physicist? Probably not. So a lot of experience has to go after you know it superficially. The setups, etc., everything I can explain to you in 2 hours. But unless you add your experience to it, it will not become yours. You will not be able to act without hesitation and without fear. So, this is a journey. You start small and slowly build up as your confidence goes higher. Now, about the workshop, techniques are very simple. They are simple by design because a difficult thing is difficult to execute. So, if you can't understand something, how can you execute? So, the idea is to make it simple, and simple in the sense that there is no opinion involved here, which means, like on a stock, often the objection people have on calls is that two analysts are saying buy, two are saying sell. What should one do? Here, if it's a big green bar, everybody can see it's a big bar, period. So that way we have tried to make it, very, commonsensical system where there is no room for, opinion or difference of opinion or something looking something someone and something else to someone else. The material is simple, there's lots of time. If you don't understand, we can go over things again. But the whole idea is that this is a workshop and not a seminar. Please keep your pen, paper, manual with you and keep taking notes because there is a lot of extra information. I can't, thrust everything on the slide. So there will be extra information that you need to take down because the stupidest thing is to take one pattern to go on applying it on all charts, all kinds of market and not understanding that there is a certain context and there is certain amount of confirmation that is needed. So the idea should be to grab those nuances which make patterns more effective. So that being said, most sessions, almost all sessions will be 1.5 hours each. There will be 15 minutes of question and answer after each session, and then a tea coffee type of break for 15 minutes. So that takes care of about 2 hours. Lunch is at 1:30 for about 45 minutes. The earlier we can finish up, the more you can enjoy your weekend. I plan to finish up like 5:15, broadly latest by 5:30. So that those kind of time we should maintain. Also, I request to not start discussions which are not related to the topic. We are doing technical analysis and trading the way I do it. This is not a general technical analysis workshop. This is what I do, what works for me. Now, somebody may have a trading system where the entry works for him. Okay, fine, do your entry, take my money management, take my trade management. So, in life and in trading, you take something and improve your current system. Nobody is saying you throw away your system, but there could be missing parts. So those can be easily replaced with taking things from me. Okay, now day one agenda is first we discuss trading psychology. I think because of Facebook etc., people now know how important psychology and trading psychology in particular is. I have seen the best technicians, the best Gyanis of the market fail because they didn't have the right psychology. So unless you can think about this business in a proper manner, you will not be able to succeed. You may know everything. This is not a CBSE exam. Unless you can execute, you won't be able to, come out ahead. And the problem here is that you need a different mindset than you've had till now in your education and in your profession. The second thing is money management and some kind of trading plan. So I'll show you how I do money management and what sort of trading plan I like to follow. Then post lunch we'll start with the buy and sell events. What are those particular events which trigger a buy? Where should the stops be placed? All that will be taught. Today broadly we'll be discussing intraday individual stock futures trading. The bank nifty will be the first topic tomorrow. So intraday trading on individual stocks, and we'll do so many examples that your ears, they'll come out of your ears. So the idea should be to have a look at all examples and then tell me what you haven't understood. And the beauty is that since I have done this for a long time, I will tell you what to look for after the pattern has been made. Why? Because patterns have failure rates. So important to know which patterns are not moving perfectly. Day 2, which is tomorrow, we start with pivot theory and then we get on to bank nifty intraday trading. The third topic after lunch will be swing trading. Now swing trading is only one session. Why? Because greed and fear is the same on all charts. It is same for 5 minute, 15 minute, 1 month, 3 months, 1 year. The bars are exactly the same. And then we'll do some investing for traders. You must have seen these days I am giving out some long-term calls. How do I do that? So traders can invest. Investors may not be able to trade. But I think we'll talk something about how do I look at things and how do I use very basic fundamental information, add that with the chart and then take investing positions. So this is day 1 agenda. This is day 2 agenda. Now everybody learns from somebody, and in trading there are no proper schools, and everybody gets mentored by someone. So I was also mentored by a few people, and all of them, or rather most of them, were paid by me. So you have to pay for good knowledge. Randy Howell is a trading psychologist in the US. He has several videos. He has his own programs which you can get into, etc. But he sort of teaches you how to think about the market. Late Mark Douglas has done great work on psychology, and his books and his videos are very famous. Oliver Velez, I've taken his training. I think he's market maker of Nasdaq and has his proprietary practice now. He's one of the masters of intraday trading in individual stocks. Frank Ochoa, he is the pivot boss. I've taken the pivot theory for him, particularly for Bank Nifty. And Van Tharp, we all know, he has several books and he's an expert on money management. So everybody has a system where he's taken something from somebody else and made his own system which suits my personality. Now, what are the learning objectives of this 2-day, workshop? What do you hope to achieve after that? You should have an idea of how to think about the business, how to maintain your psychology, learn how to do proper risk management, because particularly in futures, people do go bankrupt. You people must have seen recently, people lost 50% of their money on mid caps. Why? Because they didn't know when and how to exit. They didn't have any stop. They didn't know what they are doing. So they are now down 30 to 50%. Trade location. Where should a trade be taken? What should be the precondition? Buy and sell events. What is that particular you know, bar pattern which should be taken as a buy or a sell event. And finally, trade management. Very important that you make your profits large. If you don't have large profits, then in this country trading costs are huge. You have STT, you have income tax, and literally 250% sometimes can be paid in income tax plus STT. So make your profits large, keep losers small, and large losses obviously should be avoided. So all of this are the learning objectives that we hope to achieve over the next couple of days. Now let's start with trading psychology. Why is it important? According to me, psychology is important for everybody. Why? You people must have seen that 95% of the people are basically getting by life, or life is getting by them. Only 5% of the people are really successful, and whatever they touch, it becomes successful. Now, as they say that the cards are dealt almost the same to everybody. Some have good cards, some have bad cards. So it's how you play your cards that is important. Now, why do I compare trading to a sport? See, in my view, trading is similar to a sport, because in a sports match, one match is not important. Like Virat Kohli, if he gets out at single digit in both innings of a test match, that counts for nothing. It can happen. But over 100 matches, his average is important. So similarly in trading, one trade anybody can be successful, one trade anybody can be unsuccessful. So there is an uncertainty of outcome. 99% people fail in trading because they are looking for certainty in an uncertain business. The man who accepts he does not know, I think, knows much more than the man who thinks he knows. You don't need to know A. B. Each individual outcome is not important. Mentally strong individuals win. Some of you who are as old as me, 40, 45, you would have seen in the 80s, West Indies dominated cricket. And, we were almost perpetually 90% we were losing to West Indies. Why? Because they were mentally stronger. They had maybe some better skills, but basically they believed they could win, and we always went in with a defeatist strategy. Then 90s came, Australia became dominant, and they had very mentally strong people, and you could get 5 of them out and they would still make 300. So mentally strong individuals win in trading, and mentally okay, some of you are saying there is an audio problem. Please confirm if the audio and the picture is fine. Okay, then I am assuming whoever has a problem is probably, is a specific problem. I guess the internet probably is slow at their location. Also, now if I ask people how to play forward defensive, cover drive, square cut, everybody, almost 90% of the people will know how to play these shots. But if I send them in a stressful situation in a match, will they be able to play? So they know those strokes superficially. Like all commentators, a lot of them were, fairly mediocre players. But When they talk about the game, it's like they know it all. On the other hand, someone like Virender Sehwag, if you ask him, theory, he has no theory. He looks at the ball and he hits it, and he has much better record than the others around him. So that is a bit like trading, like a video game. If you play over 100 uh, occasions a video game, sometimes your game will be lost very early, but over time you will be able to see your average. So trading has to be looked at very simply. If you complicate it, then you are getting into a difficult realm, because you will start to believe that you know. Because only when you believe you don't know will you look behind your shoulder. Now, why this certainty mindset has developed? See, we have enough time. You may think this is housekeeping type stuff, but believe me, after 21 years, I think I won't be the trader that I am if I was not the person that I am. So keep in mind that this is most required. Now CBSE and whatever state you are from, your state boards, whose pictures are shown by television, 495 out of 500. But what did that person achieve? That person was able to do rote learning and could write 15 lines memorized. But if the same person is sent, let me not say everyone, but 98%, if they are sent to do the same thing practically, they will fail. So CBSE tells you, if you succeed with 95% marks, then you are the best student. If you get 65-70%, then you don't know. In trading and in life, this 95% approach will kill you. Why? Because there is no system which is 95%. And if you start believing your system is 95%, then you are not acknowledging the risk in trading. So 65 to 70% of the system works very well if you add on time, if you keep on your stocks, if you ride it longer, the equation automatically works in your favor. Succeeding even 50% of the time should work, because your volume is higher when you are succeeding. So basically, trading needs a probabilistic mindset. It does not need a certainty mindset. The certainty mindset, forces you to look for certainty, and that is the beginning of all trouble. What is a certainty mindset? Certainty mindset is that I know X will happen. For that, I will keep letting the market come against me, but I will not take my loss, because I know something will happen. Investors lose more money than traders. Why? Because they believe they know. Trading, you need to know your angle point. And we'll give you those locations where if it starts to take your stop out, that means something has changed. So location is important not only in real estate, it is also important in stocks. Now let's talk about some fears of trading. We just discussed the first one, the need to be right. A lot of people have this burning need to prove to their friends, family, that whatever they said happened. In my time, a lot of astrologers made a living saying that I predicted in 1984 Indira Gandhi will die. I predicted this in 1978. But they count the predictions that were successful. So human nature is always intrigued by the person who knows, and those people, because one of their prediction is right in 10 years, are then called market gurus. I don't appreciate that term. Why? Because the best guru knows that he does not know. Recently, we saw what happened with NCLT cases. Recently, we heard people say there is no risk in the market. What happened? Immediately 3 months later, the stocks are down 50%. So, need to be right is a problem area. If you love to be right, then this is a wrong business for you, because here you need to assume you are wrong till the market proves you right. Now, everybody may not have all the fears of trading. So you have to identify which particular problem do you have. Now let me tell you my problem. I think I am a little, impatient and aggressive person by nature. So what happens is that in life and in most of my businesses, I'm very successful. Why? Because I think of something and I execute and I go hammer and tongs. So within this, 6 months, I think we've trained almost 400 people. We have one workshop next weekend also. Great. But when you take the same attitude into trading, when the market is good and you go, hard at the open, you get rewarded. But when market is sideways, the same approach can be lethal. So I know what my problem is, and hence I can control my weakness. The impatience, the aggression needs to be tempered in trading. Similarly, what's good can be used by you, and what is not so good about you, you should be aware so that the downside can be protected. Fear of losing. There's a person I know, basically, the negative mindset that they had some loss somewhere in their lives, and now whenever they are in a profitable position, they fear losing so much that they tend to, cut position too early or keep hanging on to a losing position, thinking that if I hold it long enough, it will become profitable. You must have heard this on television. But if the person is long-term investor, no problem, let him lose. For long-term, everything will be fixed. Remember pharma stocks? DLF, somebody bought long-term at 1200, 10 years back. Sun Pharma people bought at 1200. So, time does not fix anything. So you are much better off if you don't have the fear of losing, and if you have the fear of losing, cut down your position till you can sleep well. Mostly, if you are taking large losses like 5%, 10% in one go, then you will finally develop a fear of losing. See, losing has to be seen very philosophically. That a losing trade gives you important information for the next winning trade. Why will your stock get hit? Because there is something you are not looking at. Losing is a cost of doing business. Losing does not mean you don't know, or you need to change your system, or you need to see, market will often give you losers just to throw you off track. The only thing you can do is keep the losers manageable. Anybody who says he does not have a loser is a liar. I would accept people who say I don't have big losers. I would accept people who say that I can turn around 50% of my losers. All that I can accept. But you will have losers here. So this is something that you have to accept while you come into this business. Finally, fear of winner turning into a loser. Now again, I had one client who said that he got some stock options, and 1 year later in 2008 when the market fell, he had just joined a job in 2004, so there was some lock-in. So at the highest, at the peak, he had 1 crore, and in 2008 that 1 crore became 10 lakh. So my question to him was, did you earn it? If you are a fresher, 3 years into a job, your stock options become 1 crore. Would you have contributed so much to the company? But because he assumed that 1 crore belonged to him, and finally when he became a trader, he could not, each time he had a winner in his hand, he would not like to make it a loser. So he would take 2 rupees, 5 rupees, 3 rupees. So the whole issue is that some event in your life shapes your thinking. So you have to be very clear that moving on is part of the game. There's one client who came, and within half an hour, he told me, I think 5 times, that in 1998 he lost 50,000 and hence is very scared from that time. If in half an hour he has told me this 5 times, how many times would he tell himself all day? Can such a person win? See, life is a combination of winning and losing. The best actors, the best athletes, they all win and lose. The most successful entrepreneurs, they win and they lose. So till you are not okay with losing, you will create all kinds of problems because of your thinking, and that you can probably see all around you. People have so much talent, they have the skills, but their thinking is not in place. So make sure you are able to deal with your weakness. The weakness may not go away, but if you are able to deal with your weakness, then the loss that you may face because of your thinking will be reduced. Now we have a video which we'll like to play, and this is Randy Howell, and he'll explain to you his philosophy on the way to think about the market. Listen to him, and he has shaped a lot of my thinking, and it's very useful the way he talks about trading. चलो होगा? If you can't hear him properly, please let us know. Why can't we hear it?
feeling of knowing that you're almost there, that you can literally feel prosperity is just right around the corner. If there was just this little thing that would happen, that you would be able to go from where you're performing right now in your trading to the next level. But have you ever noticed that feeling of knowing is really a feeling of certainty? And here's the deal. It's actually an illusion. It's actually a stage that traders fall into all the time. They get to this stage and they think they're almost there. And they think, well, just a little bit more down the road, then I'll be there. But what they don't realize, that stage is not almost there. It is a place where they're stuck. In fact, the biology, here's the deal, friends, and this is the stuckness that happens for a trader in the feeling of certainty. The feeling of certainty produces a sense, a knowing that you're certain that you're almost there, despite that your trading account's showing you evidence to the contrary. You know you're almost there. You can feel it. You know it, but you don't. The evidence, okay, from your trading account is saying you're slip sliding away. It's not happening. The closer I'm getting to this, the more I slip slide away from it. And yet there's that feeling you can't shake of knowing. That's the point. This is when two worlds collide. The world of knowledge and the world of performance. Because what's happened is that technically, after several years, you become technically a very good trader. You know how to trade in the classroom, okay? But the problem is when you apply that knowledge under pressure of risk and uncertainty, you discover something, is that the feeling of certainty, the feeling of knowing how to trade, suddenly disappears. In fact, you do not know how to trade under the environment that traders grade themselves on. Performance of their trading account. That's the big deal. So what I want you to hear is that it's not really psychology, okay? It's below that. It's this need for humans to feel certain, to feel in control, that gets in the way. The brain would much rather believe a reassuring lie than to hear the truth. It will create this feeling, I know it's here, it's just right around the corner.
Some of you
when in
don't
fact,
have proper
it's not
internet.
there. Then that feeling state, okay, and it's one that's innate, it's inherent, it has been adaptive as a trait into our DNA for generations and generations and generations. The key is, it's also self-deception, okay? It's that reassuring lie.
Sir, your internet
and the trader really has to break free of that reassuring lie, because that feeling of certainty is not squaring up with the facts. Again, the only thing that you can really trust in your trading is what is your trading account telling you about the mind that you're bringing to trading. Okay? The first thing that's going to have to happen for you to be able to get past this is to acknowledge that it's happening. Notice that it's happening. You know, go back and just take a look at your trading and just start noticing that there was about a 2-year period that it took you to get to the point where you knew how to trade. Then I want you to see this period after that where you're a novice, okay, but you think you're an experienced trader. Or you may be an experienced trader.
Restart the video. Please confirm how many are getting it, because if the majority is getting it, then others have an internet problem which we cannot solve from here. We'll start again. Those who are getting it, please bear with me, watch it again, because I just want to have a show of hands.
Feeling of
who all are getting it properly.
There,
the rest will need to figure it out.
Literally feel prosperity is just right around the corner. If there was just this little thing that would happen, that you would be able to go from where you're performing right now in your trading to the next level. But have you ever noticed that feeling of knowing is really a feeling of certainty? And here's the deal. It's actually an illusion. It's actually a stage that traders fall into all the time. They get to this stage and they think they're almost there. And they think, well, just a little bit more down the road, then I'll be there. But what they don't realize, that stage is not almost there. It is a place where they're stuck. In fact, the biology, here's the deal, friends, and this is the stuckness that happens for a trader in the feeling of certainty. The feeling of certainty produces a sense, a knowing that you're certain that you're almost there, despite that your trading account's showing you evidence to the contrary. You know you're almost there. You can feel it. You know it, but you don't. The evidence, okay, from your trading account is saying you're slip sliding away. It's not happening. The closer I'm getting to this, the more I slip slide away from it. And yet there's that feeling you can't shake of knowing. That's the point. This is when two worlds collide. The world of knowledge and the world of performance. Because what's happened is that technically, after several years, you become technically a very good trader. You know how to trade in the classroom, okay? But the problem is when you apply that knowledge under pressure of risk and uncertainty, you discover something, is that the feeling of certainty, the feeling of knowing how to trade, suddenly disappears. In fact, you do not know how to trade under the environment that traders grade themselves on. Performance of their trading account. That's the big deal. So what I want you to hear is that it's not really psychology, okay? It's below that. It's this need for humans to feel certain, to feel in control, that gets in the way. The brain would much rather believe a reassuring lie than to hear the truth. It will create this feeling, I know it's here, it's just right around the corner, when in fact it's not there. Then that feeling state, okay, and it's one that's innate, it's inherent, it has been adaptive as a trait into our DNA for generations and generations and generations. The key is, it's also self-deception, okay? It's that reassuring lie, and the trader really has to break free of that reassuring lie, because that feeling of certainty is not squaring up with the facts. Again, the only thing that you can really trust in your trading is what is your trading account telling you about the mind that you're bringing to trading. Okay? The first thing that's going to have to happen for you to be able to get past this is to acknowledge that it's happening. Notice that it's happening. Go back and just take a look at your trading and just start noticing that there was about a 2-year period that it took you to get to the point where you knew how to trade. Then I want you to see this period after that where you're a novice, okay, but you think you're an experienced trader. Or you may be an experienced trader, but you're not a professional trader. The professional trader has gotten past this sense of certainty of knowing, this certainty of I feel like I know, it should be happening. What they've recognized is that the mind coming out of this brain right here is built for certainty. It is built for the illusion of certainty, even when certainty is not there. What the professional trader has done is they've moved beyond that. They have recognized that there is only an illusion of certainty, and that feeling of knowing has to be balanced against what the trading account's telling you. That's the key, is you have to get past the feeling of knowing. It's really interesting, in his book on being certain, a really great neurologist by the name of Robert Burton talks about this, and he talks about how powerful it is and how literally it's getting out of that bias that's so incredibly hard. In trading, there's no choice. In real life, it's so slow, you can stay in that certainty and make up all sorts of narratives, all sorts of stories and explanations that supports it. But in trading, the truth is that it happens so fast that your trading account is telling you point blank whether or not the fiction, the narrative, is actual factual or not. When it's not, you have to go, oh my God, okay, this is the certainty of feeling that I'm going to have to get beyond. Yes. Now, it will manifest as psychological stuff, like the feeling of certainty, the fear of the unknown, the fear of loss, that I'm going to make it, that grandiosity, that overconfidence, the fear of missing out on profits, all that stuff. However, it's rooted in this inherent biological position on your body, your brain wanting to be certain. It'd rather feel the feeling of certainty than actually be competent. That's what you have to come and get beyond. When you do that, what you discover is you're going to have to regulate that feeling. You're going to have to regulate fear. Emotional regulation, literally volitionally managing the biology of the emotion, is essential. But emotional regulation only gets you to the door of the mind. You still have to develop the tool to start saying, what is this certainty business? What are the beliefs in there? And what you look into is you discover mindfulness, or what I would call awakening the observer. You have to develop a tool that allows you to open the door of the mind and look in and actually see what's running the show. And what you discover is that the brain itself is a community of rival programs that want certainty, and they've duked it out and they've organized a self, okay? That's who you brought to trading. That self is going to be around certainty. It's not going to be around the management of probability. That's the key, friends. And that's why traders stay stuck. You have to develop a brain, a mind ready to manage, engage probability. Scares the bejeebers out of the organic brain, but it has to be cooled down. That's emotional regulation. Then you have to start searching within you for more inherent patterns, emotional programs that can build a mind, that can engage probability. And it just so happens they're there. That's what the professional traders have done. They have found how to take those emotional programs that have kind of been pushed to the side because everybody's been convinced of certainty and of making things happen. But when you go, no, that's not what happens. How do I manage probability? You reorganize the emotional programs, okay, through applied mindfulness that allows you to engage uncertainty. When you come to that moment, what you finally realize is this, is that you realize that the brain can be organized very differently for different purposes, okay? Initially, the mind you brought to trading was organized to survive in a whirl and to produce a sense of certainty. The mind that you're organizing for trading is different. It is being organized to be able to work with uncertainty and to think in terms of probabilities and let certainty go. So there you go, friends. What you're doing is you're building a mind that you're building a mind that allows you to manage the probabilities within uncertainty and become comfortable with it. That's what a professional trader can do that an amateur trader can't. Take care, and if you want to learn more, go to my website, do some reading, look at more videos. There's lots of stuff there, okay? Take care.
Okay, so basically what he says is that you need to develop a probabilistic mindset. See, a few of you are getting restless that I am not talking about how to look for stock movement. That is come in the course. I have to follow a certain system and I'll follow that. If you don't think about this business correctly, no matter how many workshops you attend, you will not make money. So, let's not hurry things up. You have to learn ABC before you can learn right. The next topic here is, what is the best way of becoming the right kind of person for trading? It is by becoming the right person in other things also. Because according to me, It's difficult to be one kind of person in trading and a totally different type of person in the rest of your life. If you're an indecisive, lazy, incompetent, indisciplined person in real life, I don't think trading will suddenly change you. So you need to be, extraordinary for trading, which means you don't need to be like everybody else. If there's a certain routine you need to follow, you need to follow it. A trader, his work goes on, even on weekends. And if you study histories of successful people, you will see that they are a bit eccentric. Why? Because if 95% did what the 5% did, they would also be like them. So the better person becomes the better trader. Now, who's the better person? Not the one who keeps telling himself stories that he or she or they are to blame because he didn't make it. The trader takes responsibility as the better person takes responsibility for his actions. So if you are looking around to blame, no, TV anchor is responsible for my loss, market did this, market did that, Fala expert is responsible, then you can kiss goodbye to successful trading. Every day the improvement is incremental. The better person incrementally improves his diet, does some exercise, has a proper waking up time, does some reading. The same is needed for a trader. So the way I worked on this was that I became the person that I needed to become for trading in all my activities. Some people think I'm mad. That's good with me. So if you are the kind of person who loves to fit in, then you cannot develop that sort of discipline that you need to succeed in a performance discipline. This is where this business is different from, say, cooking, driving. See, if I know the recipe and I cook butter chicken 50 times, 50 times it will come out the same. Or, if I have to keep a driver and I take him, from here to, say, Connaught Place, 50 times, unless I am unlucky, I'll get there and come back. But in trading, if 50 times you do the same thing, chances are 30 to 35 times you succeed, about 15-16 times you fail, and you need to know or find out fairly quickly that it's not working this time. Not because there's something wrong with the system, because the person which had to buy after you did not buy. It's that simple. So the problem often is that you get betrayed by your system. Because when things don't work according to expectation, you start second guessing the system, the market, the news, etc., etc., etc. Okay. So similar to a better person, the better trader needs to cut bad trades, quickly understand what's going on, and similarly the better person cuts a bad business, cuts bad relationships. Like a bad trade does not become good time, a bad business also generally does not become good with time, neither do bad relationships. See, moving on is the attribute of a mentally strong person. Often people think mentally strong people hold on to their opinion. No. Mentally strong people change their opinion with time. People have great trouble with me. Sir, you change your position. So, I am not Arnab Goswami. See, foolish things like, general news debates, you should hold your position because you are not losing money. In an endeavor like trading, if the market's telling you are wrong, you better change your position or somebody is taking your money. Also, trader is an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur wins only 40 to 60% of the time. If you read the life stories of many of them, most of them failed in 6-7 businesses before they made it. The other similarity is that most of them were almost bankrupt when they started to make it, because that is when you become mentally strong. Generally, mentally strong people are not born in privilege. So important to understand that this is a business of uncertainty, as life is, as entrepreneurship is. Why are most people in our country not being able to become entrepreneurs? Because it's been drilled into us that if you fail, society will not accept you, you can't get married, this, that. Hence, neither are we good sports people, nor are we, entrepreneurs. And trading also comes to us with great difficulty because we are not able to accept uncertainty. Losing money means that we lose face. If you believe in all that belief system, even on television, often in soaps they'll show, somebody was in the market, he finally hung himself, he lost money, he lost his house, he lost his wife. But there are people who win. So you need to get out of this defeatist mindset to be able to make it. Now what is needed? What is needed to win? A, mental strength. Now some people use meditation to become mentally strong. Other people use people like Randy Howell, etc., do his programs. But I think we are not wired properly for trading. So some sort of mental exercise, mental house cleaning needs to be done, because you have to be able to think straight to trade well. As you can see, you have 4 things written here, and any of them do not say analysis, prediction, PhD in finance or economics. So what is needed to trade is not some great amount of education. In fact, the best people to trade are 15-year-olds, because they have not been trained to not listen to their intuition, to not accept failure as part of life. So that way, the younger the person, the less well educated he is, in my opinion, is a better trader. Because the moment you get too educated, education comes in the way of thinking straight. So most PhD in finance become professors, not traders. The other thing is you need a simple strategy. What is a simple strategy? Where there is no ambiguity. By the end of this program, if I show all of you one pattern, you should all be able to say the same thing. That is the kind of clarity that is needed. Good money management. As I said before, that going bankrupt in this business is not a very rare eventuality. So unless you are having a proper money management system where over the long run your system works out, I think that is what is more important. If you are betting half your account on one position, that is not trading, that is called gambling. Trading is a science. And finally, you need to have a probabilistic mindset. You believe that, okay, fine, I have some probability, some biases in my favor, and finally, I could be wrong as well. If I am right, I'll do my trade management, I'll follow the system, and if I am wrong, I'll cut it. The other thing, everyone has ego. What is an ego? Ego says, I will decide whether the position should be carried, it should be cut, whether a position should be taken at all. The problem is we cannot become good traders. Why? Because trading, we are emotional beings. People cannot take good trading decisions. So what you have to do finally is that to make a system where your entries are well defined, So the moment you see the right location, the right event, you take your entry, then you have a trade management system. So everything is decided by the system. You don't get in the way. If you can practice doing that, then when you win, you are large winners. When you lose because your stop is very clear, you are out. So your losers automatically remain small. If you are arbitrary, that one time I'll take 15 bucks as a loss, another time I'll take 50 bucks, then I'll take 2% profit. This way, trading as a business will not survive. So the idea should be that you run it as a business, not some adventure, not because you don't have anything better to do, etc., etc., etc. This is particularly relevant for ladies. Sometimes they think this is too easy and this they can do part time along with housework, this that. You are competing with people like me. So if you think this is some part time job and you can take it easy, then money will get taken off. I'm not being sexist. I'm just telling you that this is a highly probably world's most competitive market. If you don't have the skills, if you don't do the hard work, money will get taken from you. So take it with all the seriousness. Executing trade is very simple, but to have a system to follow it consistently will only give you consistent result. Winning in one trade, two trades is very simple. Okay, let's move along. See, this is Imran Khan, and I am particularly fond of him because he had great clarity when he was captain and really worked on his skills. The other thing is that he tells you what is the similarity between trading and cricket. Just remove the word cricket or bowling and replace with trading. The other thing is, in 1982, I don't know how many of you were born before then, but that was a time when I was first, getting interested in cricket, like 12 years old or something. And, he made mincemeat of our batting in 82. We went to Pakistan. And, you still have his videos on YouTube. Just Google Pakistan India 1982. I think 40 wickets in 5 test matches. And we had batting lineup like, Gavaskar, Vishwanath, Vengsarkar, Mohinder Amarnath. I mean, on paper, we were the strongest. And, we had, these Hindi commentators who had gone with the trip. And they were, Indian commentators and Pakistani commentators. Pakistani spoke, I think, Urdu. And Indian commentator, I think it was Ravi Chaturvedi or somebody. He was doing Hindi. So after each wicket he took, he used to say that Indian batsman के ऊपर मनोवैज्ञानिक दबाव पड़ गया है. For many years I thought, what is मनोवैज्ञानिक दबाव? If you have 4 fielders around you, you get under so much pressure that you nick the ball. So if you see from that team, which had the most number of centuries and this and that, but never really won anything, to today where you have Virat Kohli, Dhoni, strong, mentally strong people, and suddenly your team has started to win. So that is what mental strength and not having mental strength can do. You can get bogged down by, Imran Khan, great bowler, or crowds. So that is where sports and cricket matches, because a lot of people, domestic cricket, they'll score 300, 500, but international cricket, they go out to bat and they're out 5 balls later. So very important to hear him out and to see how a person keeps working on himself and keeps becoming better and better with time. I think each time I am down a bit, I listen to his video and it works like a medicine to a battered psychology. You have bad days in the market. This is a good video to listen on those days.
لیکن آپ نے سٹارٹ تو اپنا ایز اے میڈیم پیسر کیا تھا. وسٹرشائر کے کوچز نے آپ کو سمجھاتا تھا کہ آپ میڈیم پیسر بہتر ہیں, تو وہ فاسٹ بالر کی ٹرانزیشن کس طرح ہوئی؟
میں شاید دنیا کی تاریخ میں شاید واحد بولر ہوں گا جو میڈیم پیسر سے تیز بولر بنا. یہ اور کوئی مثال نہیں ہے. تیز بولر آتا ہے میں اس لیے بنا, میری ایک نیچرل, میں ان سوئنگ کرتا تھا, تو مجھے جو وسٹرشائر کا کوچ تھا وہ کہتا تھا کہ تم اتنی اچھی تمہاری ان سوئنگ ہے تو تم تیز کرو گے تو یہ ان سوئنگ کھو جاؤ گے. لیکن میرا جو ٹیمپرمنٹ تھا وہ یہ تھا کہ مجھے جب میں گیا جب انگلینڈ, تو میں اسکول میں تھا, میں نے اے لیولز کرنے کے لیے سردیوں میں اسکول میں تھا. تو جب اگلا سیزن شروع ہوا 1972, میں جب 19 سال کا تھا, تو میں نے ڈینس لیلی کو بولنگ کرتے دیکھا. اور پہلی دفعہ میں نے, کیونکہ تب تو ٹی وی پہ ہم دیکھتے کچھ نہیں تھے, تو پہلی دفعہ میں نے ڈینس لیلی کو ٹیلی ویژن پہ بولنگ کرتے دیکھا. اور جب میں نے اس کو بولنگ کرتے دیکھا, اور میں نے کہا میں یہ بننا چاہتا ہوں, میں فاسٹ بولر بننا چاہتا ہوں. تو وہ کوچ مجھے کہتا رہتا تھا کہ میڈیم پیس کرو, میں تیز بولر بننا چاہتا تھا, تو میں میڈیم پیسر سے تیز بولر بنا. اور یہ کوئی ایسا انسٹنس نہیں ہے کہ میں نے جب جو رکاوٹیں آتی رہی میرے راستے میں وہ میں دور کرتا رہا. یعنی میرا جو بولنگ ایکشن تھا وہ مجھے روکتا تھا تیز بولر بننے میں نے پورا اپنا ایکشن چینج کیا, ری ماڈل کیا. کسی نے, آپ دیکھ لیں کہ کوئی بولر نے اتنا ایسے ایکشن نہیں چینج کیا. میں جب 18 سال کی عمر میں کھیلا تب میرا بولنگ ایکشن کیا تھا, اور جب میں اپنی پیک پہ پہنچا تو کیا تھا, ٹوٹلی ری ماڈل کر لیا. اور وہ ری ماڈل کیا تیز بولر بننے کے لیے, یہ کسی نے اور نہیں کیا. تو کہنے کے لیے جو ینگسٹرز دیکھ رہے ہیں وہ یہ کہ انسان جو بھی بننا چاہے, جو خواب دیکھتے ہیں نا, جو آپ ذہن میں خواب دیکھ سکتے ہیں وہ آپ بن سکتے ہیں. پرابلم کیا آتی ہے کہ راستے میں ہم گیو اپ کر جاتے ہیں, ہم ہار مان جاتے ہیں, اور اس میں بڑی مشکل آتی ہے. یعنی میں کئی دفعہ ڈیڈ اینڈ پہ آ جاتا تھا کہ اب پھنس گیا ہوں. اب یہ سارے کہتے تھے سارے مجھے کہتے تھے تم تیز بولر نہیں بن سکتے. جو بھی مجھے کلب میں بھی کہتے تھے, میرا مذاق اڑاتے تھے. میں نے کہا میں نے بننا ہے, مذاق اڑاتے تھے. اور کئی دفعہ آپ سوچتے تھے رات کو سوتے ہوئے کہ اندھیرا آگے دیوار نظر آ جاتی تھی کہ اب آگے نہیں بڑھ سکتا, اور میں مایوس بھی ہوتا تھا 2-3 دن کہ میں نہیں. پھر میرے اندر ہوتا تھا کہ نہیں میں نے بننا ہے, پھر میں کوشش کرتا تھا, پھر مذاق اڑتا تھا, پھر گرتا تھا.
سیلف بلیف تھا, ایک
سیلف بلیف آتا ہے. سیلف بلیف نو ون از بورن, یعنی کوئی سیلف بلیف سے پیدا نہیں ہوتا. سیلف بلیف ڈیولپ ہوتا ہے پرفارمنس سے. جب آپ ایک ہرڈل, جب آپ کوئی کہتا ہے کوئی نہیں کر سکتے اور آپ محنت کر کے وہاں پہنچ جاتے ہیں, آپ کے اندر بلیف آ جاتا ہے. پھر وہ آپ کو تیار کر دیتا ہے اگلے چیلنج کے لیے. اور دوسری چیز کہ عقل کا استعمال یہ ہوتا ہے کہ اللہ نے انسان کو عقل دیا, اب سارا وقت اینالائز کریں. میں کرکٹ جب میچ کھیل کے آتا تھا تو میں سوتا تب تک نہیں تھا جب تک میں نے اینالائز نہ کر لیا ہو کہ میں نے کیا آج غلطیاں کی. میں تو ایک سٹیج یہ آ گئی تھی جب میں کرکٹ کھیلتا تھا, میں کبھی برا وقت آتا تو میں اخبار نہیں پڑھتا تھا, بری پرفارمنس میں اخبار ہی نہیں پڑھتا تھا. مجھے پتا تھا کہ میں اگر انٹرنیشنل کرکٹر ہوں, مجھے وہ جو لکھنے والا ہے جس نے کبھی کلب کرکٹ کھیلی ہو, میں اس سے زیادہ بہتر سمجھتا ہوں کرکٹ, تو وہ مجھے کیسے بتا سکتا ہے. مجھے اینالائز کرنا چاہیے. اور پھر آپ میں یہ ایک اور کوالٹی ہونی چاہیے, کیونکہ جب آپ ایک شکست ہوتی ہے, میچ ہار جاتے ہیں, سیریز ہار جاتے ہیں, تو مشوروں کی بارش ہو جاتی ہے. ہر مشورہ مفت ہوتا ہے, ہر دے دیتا ہے مشورہ. کوئی, میں نے تو پارٹی میں جب ہماری پارٹی برا وقت آتا ہے تو میں کہتا ہوں پیسے دو گے تو مشورہ دو گے, پیسے پارٹی کے فنڈ کو پیسہ نہیں, مشورہ نہیں میں لیتا. تو جب مشورے آتے ہیں یا تنقید, اور آپ کے اوپر تنقید ہوتی ہے, تو آپ میں یہ ایبلٹی ہونی چاہیے کہ کون سی تنقید ہے. ایک ایسا تنقید ہے, مثلا ایک بہت, میں کرکٹ میں مثلا میں فیصلہ کر لیتا تھا میں کس کی تنقید, ریچی بینو, بڑا اچھا ذہن تھا کرکٹ کا, میں اس کی دیکھتا تھا. ایئن چیپل زبردست تنقید کرتا تھا. وہ بوائکاٹ کی بیٹنگ میں بڑی اچھی تنقید ہوتی تھی. میں بات کر رہا ہوں کہ جو میں جن کی پڑھتا تھا کالمز. باقی مجھے پتا تھا کہ کئی لوگ مثلا پاکستان میں جب, کیونکہ میں اونچا نام تھا, تو جب میں فیل ہوتا تھا تو مجھے پتا تھا کہ کئی جل کے تنقید کرتے ہیں, ان کی میں ویسے نہیں پڑھتا تھا. اور کئی ناسمجھ ہوتے تھے کہ وہ آپ ہارے ہیں تو تنقید کرنی ہے, تو ان کا بھی میں نہیں پڑھتا تھا. تو آپ میں ایبلٹی ہونی چاہیے چننے کی کہ کون سی تنقید آپ نے سننی ہے اور کون سی تنقید کو سائڈ پہ کر دینا ہے. اگر آپ میں یہ ایبلٹی نہیں ہوتی تو آپ کی تنقید آپ کو ڈیمورلائز کر دیتی ہے, आप हार मानना शुरू कर देते हैं।
Okay, now basically what he's saying is A, whatever you can think, you can become. And often the problem people face when they make a goal and they are trying to achieve it is that they hit, walls, and they have to overcome that hurdle and make progress, but again they will hit the next wall. So the idea is incremental improvement but not giving up. I think this is most relevant to trading, because trading you will not get instant results. It's something like weight loss or gymming or sport, where slowly it builds up. So what he's basically trying to say is that there'll be a lot of failure before success comes in, and the only way to become successful is to keep working on your problems, keep becoming mentally stronger, and then results will start coming in. You have to grow from within. This is not something that somebody can make you eat in a day and next morning it starts to work. Nothing does. So that way, that is the important message. Also, what he said was that he accepted criticism from people who knew more than him or whose analysis he respected. But listening to random people in the market and taking their views, etc., is the best way of losing. So don't listen to inexperienced voices or voices who have no record to show. So broadly, the idea is that if you want to become a good trader, you will have to solve several issues. It's not something that happens one fine day. Sometimes you'll find problem in your trade management system. At other times you'll find problem in the instrument that you are trading. So solve one problem at a time, and finally you'll be able to make it as a trader. Now this is as far as the first section goes, and now this is a quiz that is there. I am giving you 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, please type up what you think is more important. That is why it's a workshop. You'll have quizzes after each section. Okay, if any of you want to ask questions, you can have a Q&A and then a 15-minute break. After that, we'll start with the money management section. I doubt a strong method with weak psychology can be a winner, because the problem is the strength of the method is in execution. If because of weak psychology you cannot execute, then the matter is over. Whether it's the method is good or not, it doesn't matter. I don't think there is any metric for psychology, but the point here is that you probably would have seen in your life till now whether you are a mentally strong person or a mentally weak person. If you are decisive, if you keep moving on, if you believe that you alone are responsible for the consequences of your actions, that is strong psychology. A person who keeps coming back from being down. So that you have to assess which areas you are weak in. Everybody does not have totally weak psychology or totally strong psychology. You have areas which are weaker than others. Well, I think psychology can be developed. How? These days, if you watch YouTube, there are n number of psychology videos like Brian Tracy, Jim Rohn. You choose your speaker. Locals are there, Sister Shivani, etc. It gives you clarity of thought. The other thing is, once you become more decisive in your life, you'll have better results. If you keep hanging on to problems, get into anxiety, worrying, that's a poor life. So I think that these days there are methods. I personally do some Silva method. There are others that are available. Do what works for you. Everything does not work for everybody, but a mentally strong person has a better life. He has, better trading life. Everything works out for a mentally strong person. I have seen in the same house two people who have exactly same situation. Even my two dogs. The male dog has, he's lazy, complacent, just, kind of likes to lie down. While the female dog, she goes running around in the farm, chases squirrels, does all kinds of things. The male dog is becoming fat and he is generally not interested in anything competitive. The female dog is very aggressive. Two people, two animals have the same facilities, same food, same everything. It is just their attitude to life. Well, basically, Silva method gives you a nice visualization tool. What that does is that is a self-hypnosis technique where, say, you can't control your loss, and once you start to lose, something starts happening in your tummy, etc. So in Silva method, if you go to a non-threatening environment, which means non-market hours, and you visualize that you've taken a trade and suddenly that same feeling starts to happen. And you tell yourself that I will not act in this manner, but I will act differently. If you do this for 30 days after training, you should be able to fix these sort of problems, because often all feelings start in the stomach. So once you know the feeling associated with your problem, that feeling you can make it go away. But obviously there are no exact answers. You have to find what works with you. Sometimes even taking professional help is not a bad idea. These days, given the number of suicides, yesterday that international chef committed suicide. Depression, mental health is a reality of our times. So any problem that even if you need help from somebody, it's worth solving. Silva method is available on Amazon. I think 4,000 or something. These days you get those DVDs or files, etc. Earlier there was a gentleman who used to take classes, but now everything has become online. If you Google Silva method, you'll get all kinds of details. it worked for me. Get something that works for you. And you may have to try out all three things. That improving a system can be done only after you've given it a bit of a run, and then see what is your profit factor, how many winners, how many losers, which often is not very important, but did it give you large winners? Were the losers very small? So that way, you have to assess how well the system is performing. Any system that wins 65-70% of the time should do fair enough, because you see, you have to leave some margin, which means that every system will have 4 or 5 consecutive losers and 4 or 5 consecutive winners. So the idea is it should be able to take when a market is changing phase from trading to trending or trending to trading. So that way, over a period of time, system performance can be seen. Back testing, I am not a big fan. Why? Because people use curve fitting, and because the market changed from the period they back tested on, results can be sometimes different. So the idea should be, if you get good consistency, a good number of points, the zeros can be added later on. I would not mind you people starting with one share. If you are successful for a week or 2 weeks, make it 2, 4, 8, 16, and in 6 months you will be at a good volume. So the idea is to first get the actions right. So I have to sit in front of computer because I have a television show to attend. But as you become more proficient, see, the idea is that you become expert in one style of trading in a particular time zone, so that you want to have the freedom that trading offers. If you have to sit like me all day long, it's not the freedom that you are looking for, but that will come with experience. Once you try out several things and see what suits your personality. Often people try to think that whatever I do will work for them. That's not how it plays out, because a lot of it depends on psychology. It's like if Rahul Dravid starts to play like Sehwag, he will fail. If Sehwag plays like Rahul Dravid, he will fail. So you have to find your sweet spot. But psychology, whether you are a trader or not a trader, I feel everybody should work on it, because it certainly makes life better. I have seen miserable people who worry all day long about nothing and they don't get anywhere in life. So if only trading helps you become mentally stronger, solve your psychological problems, it will give you dividends in many forms. I think we've answered most of the questions. We'll take a 15-minute break and probably restart around 11:05 with money management. Just have your restroom break, whatever water you want to drink, tea you want to have, do that. 11:05 we'll start again. Thank you.